Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story that most history books completely ignore. A story about a thriving American city, a beacon of hope for racial equality that was violently overthrown in what can only be described as a coup d'etat. And here's the kicker. It's the only successful coup in United States history. You probably haven't heard about it, and there's a very dark reason why. This is the story of the 1898 Wilmington Massacre. Imagine America in the late 1800s, right after the Civil War. Reconstruction was a turbulent time, but in Wilmington, North Carolina, something truly remarkable was happening. This wasn't just any city. It was the largest, most prosperous city in the state, and it was a shining example of integration and Black success. Think about this. Over half the city's population, 56% to be exact, was Black. And these weren't just numbers. These were people building lives, owning businesses, becoming professionals, and holding real political power. We're talking Black policemen, Black citizens on the board of aldermen, sharing leadership with their white counterparts. This wasn't just coexistence. It was a functioning, multiracial democracy. How did this happen? Through a powerful political alliance called the Fusion Coalition. Black Republicans and white Populists, many of them struggling farmers, realized they had more in common than what divided them. They teamed up to challenge the old guard, the conservative Democratic Party, which was basically run by wealthy elites and former slave owners. And they were winning. They took control of the state legislature, elected a Republican governor, Daniel Russell. Wilmington was the jewel in their crown, showing everyone what a truly inclusive New South could look like. But for the powerful white elite, this success wasn't inspiring. It was a terrifying threat to their control. The Democratic Party saw their power slipping away, and they weren't going to let it happen. They decided that if they couldn't win fair and square, they'd win through fear and violence. This wasn't some backroom deal. It was an openly declared, meticulously planned political strategy called the White Supremacy Campaign of 1898. And get this, they literally had a handbook on how to do it. The strategy was simple, yet terrifyingly effective, built on three pillars. The writers, these were the propagandists. They flooded newspapers with racist lies, fear-mongering about Negro rule, and dehumanizing cartoons. Their goal? To whip white citizens into a frenzy of anger and resentment. The speakers, orators like Alfred M. Waddell and Charles B. Aycock traveled the state, delivering fiery, hate-filled speeches designed to inflame white voters and justify extreme actions. The Riders, this was the muscle, a white supremacist paramilitary group known as the Red Shirts. They rode through towns, intimidating Black citizens, threatening them, and ensuring white voters turn out for the Democrats. In Wilmington, a secret group of wealthy white businessmen, chillingly known as the Secret Nine, were the masterminds behind the local plot. They needed a spark, a justification for their coming violence. And they found it in the Daily Record, Wilmington's only Black-owned newspaper. The editor, Alex Manley, had published an editorial that dared to challenge the racist narrative about Black men and white women. The Democratic propaganda machine twisted his words, using them to ignite a murderous rage among white citizens. The stage was set for disaster. The white supremacy campaign worked. Through intimidation and violence, the Democrats won the statewide elections on November 8, 1898. But Wilmington's local government, the Fusionist government, wasn't up for election. The white supremacists decided they wouldn't wait for the ballot box. The very next day, they drafted their own White Declaration of Independence. Their demands were clear. Alex Manley had to leave, his newspaper had to be shut down, and the mayor and police chief had to resign. They gave the city's Black leaders until the next morning to comply. November 10th, 1898, a date that should live in infamy. A mob of nearly 2,000 heavily armed white men, led by Alfred M. Waddell, gathered. They marched to the Daily Record office and burned it to the ground. They even posed for a photo in front of the burning building, a chilling image of satisfaction, treating their act of destruction like a trophy. But that was just the beginning. The streets became a war zone. a cart mounted with a rapid-fire machine gun, bought by those same white businessmen, rolled through the city like a primitive tank, firing indiscriminately at unarmed black residents. One of the victims was Joshua Halsey, a black laborer and father. His crime? He had previously sued the city. The conspirators had singled him out. He was shot 14 times in the head, his wife forced to watch. The exact death toll is unknown, but historians estimate dozens, possibly hundreds, of black citizens were murdered that day. And while the massacre raged, the political coup unfolded at City Hall. White Democrats stormed the building, forcing the multiracial government to resign at gunpoint. By the end of the day, the perpetrators had installed themselves in power, with Alfred M. Waddell declaring himself the new mayor. In the aftermath, prominent black citizens and white Republicans were banished. Thousands of black residents fled into the swamps, many never to return. The perpetrators of the Wilmington Coup didn't just steal a city, they stole the narrative. Not a single person was ever prosecuted. Instead, white-owned newspapers spun a false tale of a race riot started by black citizens, with a white mob simply restoring order. When black citizens begged President William McKinley for help, the federal government did nothing. This coup was a turning point. It effectively killed multiracial democracy in North Carolina. The new Democratic legislature quickly passed Jim Crow laws and stripped black citizens of their voting rights. The blueprint used in Wilmington was then replicated in other white supremacist massacres across the country, like Atlanta in 1906 and Tulsa in 1921. For over a century, the truth was buried. Organizations like the United Daughters of the Confederacy actively lobbied to remove any mention of the coup from school textbooks or to falsely portray it as a necessary action against Negro rule. It wasn't until 2006 that North Carolina finally released an official report acknowledging the truth. Today, the demographics of Wilmington tell a silent, tragic story. A city that was 56% black in 1898 is now only about 15% black. The generational wealth, the political power, the lives stolen that day, they can never be fully restored. As Elaine Brown, the great-granddaughter of victim Joshua Halsey, powerfully stated, "We have to start telling this story the way that it is, because we need justice and we need healing. And healing doesn't come with lies. It comes with the ugly truth of things." The 1898 Wilmington Coup is more than just a historical event. It's a stark, uncomfortable reminder of how fragile democracy can be and the devastating consequences of unchecked white supremacy. It's a history that was deliberately buried for a century, but it's a history we absolutely cannot afford to ignore today. What are your thoughts on this forgotten piece of American history? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into untold stories, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next upload.